Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Sativa Queen. I'm changing your life, Kalma. That's a big deal. How am I changing your life? Good morning, Kim. How are you doing today? It's really nice to see you. Gender. The way that you share about your life so poetically and so down to earth and so wholesomely. Well, thank you. I'm really happy to hear that that is the impact that I'm having. That's, it's been a dream of mine for a long time to be in this social position with you. And I feel very, very grateful. So this is not iced coffee. This is chaga. It's a mushroom beverage. Yes, I am based in New York. I live in New York State, on a farm. You woke up dizzy, and focusing on your life is helping. Well, I'm glad to hear that. So, we will start this morning's live stream the way we always begin, with some passages from the book of Deuteronomy. So the book of Deuteronomy takes place in the Torah after the Jews have left Egypt, but before they have reached Israel. And the story goes that the people are wandering through the desert, and they're seeking many things. They're seeking food and water. They're seeking comfort. They're seeking identity. And, there we go. Is this part of the Bible? Yes, the Tanakh, the 5 books of Moses. Am I a Kohenet? No, certainly not genetically. Although, in a certain sense, yes, I aspire to a kind of priesthood. There's no doubt about that. I would be fooling myself if I said otherwise. But I have no formal training. I have no credentials, no religious authority outside the authority that all of you give me in this space today. Do I eat rice and cabbage every morning without fail? Yes. Basically, today it will be kale, not cabbage, but it's the same species, so yes. Thank you, Jenna. Thank you, fur buddies. Thank you, Jenna. Alright, so Moses is standing on a mount, standing on a rock, and he's talking to his people, or perhaps his people are collectively imagining Moses telling them this story, because of course we should remember that he is a fictional character. He's not real, but this story is very old and has had a profound impact on all of human society, and so in a certain sense it is real. It's not real in the sense that there was a physical person named Moses who said these things, but it's real in the sense that it psychically happened to millions of people. And these are millions of people who were seeking a home. And as part of that seeking, they found these words. Shema Yisrael Asher Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. Listen, Israel, Yahweh Eloheinu Asher Echad are one. It's Hebrew, not Celtic. Wasn't Moses put into a basket on a river? Why, yes. So the story goes, he was. His mother, Miriam, placed him in a basket after there was a prophecy that the Pharaoh received that he would be deposed by a firstborn son of Israel, and so he ordered all the firstborn sons killed, only to have Moses be adopted by his daughter. So the story goes. This is the same story as Sargon of Akkad. The Akkadian conqueror king claims that he was put in a reed basket in his early life in order to justify his claim over the Akkadian Empire. So, this is not an original story. The story was not originally about Moses. Moses and Sargon, perhaps they're the same human. Sargon was less fictional than Moses, but we should understand the context that these stories come from. This is Christianity? Sure. It's Judaism. It's our shared mythology. Even if you're not Jewish, even if you're not Christian, nonetheless, this story has impacted the society that you live in. So, what does it mean, Shema Yisrael Yahweh Eloheinu Asher Echad? It's a statement of monotheism. It says, listen, Israel, all these gods are one God. The serpent eats its tail. Tell us tales of Sauron. I could tell you some stories about Sauron. Stick around to the end of the stream. Ask me again once I've finished my prayers and I can talk to you about Sauron. Sauron and the One Ring? Sure. It's just as relevant as Moses. The statement of monotheism, it can be interpreted in any number of ways, and it's difficult to know how to interpret it. And so the next part of the book of Deuteronomy tells us not actually how to interpret it. It's an uninterpretable statement. It is too simple to be known. All is one. What does that mean? Who knows? But the next part of the book can tell us what to do with it. Yes? What should we do with it? Well, ואהבת את ענת אלוהיך ובכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודייך וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לתותבות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך And you shall love Yahweh Eloheinu with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which are coming out of my mouth, into my phone, into your phone, into your eyes and ears, these words, teach them to your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a symbol on your hand, like this, and let them serve as a sign on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Yes, this is Hebrew. This is perhaps the most commonly stated Hebrew sentence. It's from the book of Deuteronomy. And the meaning of these sentences is very simple. It's copy me. right? It's memetical. It's out of some chain letter that your grandmother sent you. Hey, say these words and you will be brought peace and prosperity. Good morning, Paige. I'm drinking chaga. It's a mushroom tea. Am I Jewish by both race and religion? Yes, I am. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, I am more Jewish by race than by religion. My flavor of Judaism religiously would be considered heretical by most Jews because, as we have already seen, I worship Asherah. And there are many, many times in the Torah where it says quite specifically, stop worshiping Asherah. Yahweh doesn't like it. And yet here I am on TikTok with this goddess figurine worshipping Asherah. So it goes. So it goes. I do need a mod, Kai. So there is a process for becoming a mod. I need to be your friend. I need to be following you. And I need to build up some rapport with you, right? I think this is the first time you've been in my stream, and you seem really lovely, and I'd love to get to know you better. But in order to do that, there's some steps we should take. So first of all, please join my Discord server. Most of my mods are on my Discord server, and we talk there about what good moderation looks like and what kind of community experience we want to be having. This experience, we are creating it all right now, and most of you are doing an incredibly lovely job at making the tone of this stream the tone that is good for everyone here. There are some trolls, and my mods are handling them, and that's really lovely. So if you would like to help make this community stronger and make our shared intention a little bit more focused on these prayers and on the shared experience together, please do join my Discord server. There's a link in my bio, and we can chat about moderation, and then I will follow you on TikTok. And once I've followed you on TikTok, then I can give you moderator privileges. So this is a multi-step process, but that's what it takes to build trust, you know? And the chat is moving so fast this morning. Yes, it is, Paige. It's ridiculously fast. There's 300 people in the stream. So welcome all, welcome new and old. And please do say things that advance our conversation forward and keep us focused on the things that we want to be focused on. Mainly, this strange, bizarre insight, Yahweh Echad, all is one. The serpent eats its tail. And it's what I return back to all the time. I repeat it so often that it's basically nonsense. But that's the way that this goes, right? At the core of the universe needs to be something so simple, so banal, that it is devoid of all meaning, because if it had meaning, then it would be separate from that which didn't have meaning, yes? And so if we want to get to the platform, the foundation of all things, it's basically nothing. So all is nothing. All is one, same sentence. So it goes. So Moses gives us this paradox. Yahweh Echad, all is one. The serpent eats its tail. Nothing and everything are combined. Life and death are intertwined. This is the perennial philosophy. And then, once this paradox is presented, we receive instructions on how to handle it. Repeat me. Teach me to your children. Say these words over and 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 over. And maybe one day you won't just understand, but you will experience it in your body. You will feel the oneness with everything. It might not be until the day you die and your body dissolves back into the rest of the world and you merge once again into the tree of life that you were always already a part of. That's the V'ahavta. And what comes next? Well, there's something very important that comes next in the book of Deuteronomy. I didn't know that these next phrases came next. I learned the V'ahavta when I was 13, when I was studying for my bar mitzvah. Why is the Ouroboros on my right hand instead of my left? Well, it's on my left hand, actually, but the image is flipped. Why don't I flip the image for you? Is that better? All right. What comes next? I learned the V'ahavta when I was 13. I didn't learn what comes immediately after the V'ahavta until much later. Until I started doing this stream, actually, or shortly before, because it's a political statement. The first statement is metaphysical. The next statement is religious, having to do with religious practice. And the third statement that we will read momentarily is about identity and politics. And it goes like this. V'chaya, ki v'chaya Elohecha, el ha'aretz asher nisbai lavotecha, le'avram li'yitzchak ul Yaakov, לתת לך ערים גדולות וטובות אשר לא בנית, ובתים מלאים כל טובה אשר לא מילאת, ובורות עצובים אשר לא הסרת, וכררים וזיתים אשר לא נתת, והלכת ושבת. הישמר לך פן תשכח את יהוה אשר תשכח מארץ מצרים מבית עבדים. The house of bondage, מבית עבדים, ארץ מצרים, the land of Egypt, the house of bondage. When Yahweh Eloheinu brings you into land that he swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to assign to you great and flourishing cities that you did not build, houses full of all good things that you did not fill, hewn cisterns that you did not hew, vineyards and olive groves that you did not plant, and you eat your fill. Take heed that you do not forget Yahweh, who freed you from the land of Egypt, the house of bondage. So what does this mean? In this sentence, Moses is acknowledging that the promised land, the land of Israel, is occupied, that he intends to occupy it. He intends to steal it from people who lived there before him and who had just as legitimate claim to the land as the Israelites. And that's what it says. It literally says it. When Yahweh brings you into this land and gives you cities that you did not build, and houses that you did not fill, and cisterns that you did not hew, remember that Yahweh did this. And Yahweh could just as easily take it away. He could just as easily return you to Mibet Avadim, the house of bondage. Right? So it's a threat. Yahweh is not a pleasant God. He's actually a pretty terrible character. He's a patriarchal, emotionally abusive sky father. That's the character analysis, right? You could disagree with me, right? I'm giving you an interpretation, but, that's his character. So much about the Torah is extolling you to know the character of God, and Yahweh does indeed have a fairly specific character, and it's not all that flattering, right? He gives and he takes away. So remember that you live on occupied land. That's the moral. I live on occupied land. This land used to live, This land used to be lived in by the Oneida people. And I look outside my window and I see the mountain that my house is nestled on the side of. And coming out of that mountain is a spring. And capturing the water of that spring is a cistern, a hewn cistern that I did not hew. And this fall in September, I will eat from vineyards that I did not plant. None of this is mine. I did not earn any of it. I am simply here. It was given to me, and it could just as easily be taken away, and it was stolen from others. So I try to remember that every day, and I hope you remember that every day too, because like me, I assure you, you live on stolen land. So it goes. So that documentary helped me understand Judaism as harmful for women and their empowerment. There is no doubt that Judaism is a patriarchal religion. It is a religion that elevates men over women. If you have any question about that, then let me share with you a prayer that Orthodox Jewish men say every morning upon their awakening. It goes like this. Baruch atah Yahweh, Eloheinu melech haolam, Shelo Ashani Isha. I repeat the name of Yahweh Eloheinu, who did not make me a woman. I did. Notice the prayer does not say, I repeat the name of Yahweh who made me a man. It's not gender affirming. It's not thank you for giving me this body. It's thank you for not giving me that body, which is lesser than mine. That's the prayer. But I can say it unironically because no, Yahweh did not make me a woman. I did. Baruch atah Asherah, Anat Malech haolam, Asher yitzar et ha'adam bechachama uvera ve'or. I repeat the name of Asherah, Anat, who made me with many openings and cavities. That's a woman's prayer. But of course, in the Orthodox liturgy, that's also a prayer to Yahweh, which seems a little bit paradoxical. Hey, thanks Yahweh for making me with many openings and cavities. That's not what Yahweh does. Yahweh makes phalluses. So, I replace Yahweh's name with Asher in that prayer. What is my relationship with my father? Poor. I made a video about it. You can watch it. It's in my TikTok archive. I'm quite public about that. Lots of people like to troll me, tell me I have daddy issues. It's like, well, yeah. You expect that to hurt me? I don't know. My relationship with my father is poor. Just like my relationship with Yahweh is fraught, you might say. I came upon a wedding that old families had contrived, with Bethlehem the bridegroom and Babylon the bride. Oh, great Babylon was trembling, and she stood there naked with me, and Bethlehem inflamed us both like the shy one at some orgy. And when we fell together, all our flesh was like a veil, and we had to draw aside to see the serpent eat its tail. Oh, some women wait for Jesus, and some we wait for Cain. So I'll hang upon this altar, and I'll hoist my axe again, and I'll take the one who finds me back to where it all began, back when Jesus was the honeymoon and Cain was just a man. And we'll read from pleasant Bibles that are bound in blood and skin, that Asherah is gathering all her children back again. Do I practice different religions? Yes, I do. I couldn't say that I practice Orthodox Judaism, although this is a kind of Judaism, and you will see momentarily, actually, the next prayer that I sing will be in Sanskrit, not Hebrew. I have spent time at the Shivananda Yoga Ashram in the mountains of New York, not far from where I grew up, and I've learned some of their liturgy, and I will share that with you very soon. But first, I need to add some keywords to the filter in my live stream. If any of you would like to moderate for me and help filter out some of the troll comments, that would be good. All right, let's add another keyword. All right, there we go. So, this next prayer is called the Shivananda Dhyana Sloka. It's a prayer that is said before pranayama practice, breathing yoga. I'm going to do a full pranayama lesson on my Discord server sometime soon, as soon as we generate enough interest and I have enough time. So if you're interested in breath yoga, breathing meditation called pranayama, do join my Discord server, message me about it, and I'll schedule a time. Can you be a mod, Sally? Yes, you can. There's a process. You should join the server, get to know me a little bit, ask to be a mod there. We can chat about expectations for moderators and the kind of tone that I want on the stream, but I am looking for more moderators, more dedicated community members to help keep our culture strong, keep our shared intention shared. Someone, thank you for muting him. I appreciate that. This really fascinating thing happened the other day. Someone came on the stream and they said, I'm sorry, I was very cruel to you once, but then I listened and I've come to appreciate what you're doing. And I was like, oh my god, I converted a troll? Did I what? Trolls, I'm glad that you're here, right? Like, I wish you were a little more polite, but I understand that your paradigm that you're operating in is different than mine, and that's fine. I'm not actually here to convince you that anything you're doing is wrong. I'm here to be listened to. And if you're here, even if you're shouting vitriol at me, you're listening to something. And I appreciate your presence. God created you with worth and beauty. What is my sexuality? My sexual orientation is sexual. Yes. Very sexual. Extremely. I'm sorry you were very cruel. Oh, yes. John, I'm sorry I was very cruel to you, but now I've changed my mind and I respect and I want you to support. That's really sweet, John. You're not the only one who said that to me, and I think that's just kind of amazing. What am I drinking? I'm drinking chaga tea. It's a mushroom tea. It's very good. So we're gonna recite the Shivananda Dhyana Sloka. And if you join my Discord server, in a couple of weeks we will do a pranayama class there. And it'll be a good time. Do I get bothered by other people's religions? No, not at all. Not at all. Am I single? No. Absolutely not. Gajananam Bhuttagadati Sevitam Kapita Jambupala Sarabakshitam Umasutam Sakavinasakarnam Mahaming Vineshwara Pada Pankajam Sadananam Kunkumaraktavarnam Mahamatim Divya Mayuravahanam Rudasya Srinam Sarasainanatam Guham Sadanam Saranam Prapadye Yaku Hendu Tusarara Dvala Yasupravasvarita Yavina Varanda Manditakara Yasveta Padmasana Brahmachuta Sankara Pratravi Devasata Pujita Samampatu Saraswati Bhagavati Nihe Sajadyapaha Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murtaye Nisparanchaya Santaya Shishivanandaya Te Namaha Shri Vishnu Devanandaya Te Namaha Om Sarva Mangla Manglaye Shive Savarta Sadike Saranye Triambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Om I salute the three-eyed Divine Mother Narayani, who brings auspiciousness. This is Sanskrit, for those that are wondering. Sanskrit is one of the oldest Indo-European languages that we have. English, this language that I'm speaking right now, is also an Indo-European language. Indo-European invaders spread all the way from Europe to the Indian subcontinent, spreading their language and their traditions, including their patriarchy. Hello from Latvia! I love having an international audience. You thought it was Hebrew. Well, before I was chanting in Hebrew, and then I was chanting in Sanskrit, and I don't do a very good job differentiating between the two. I mean, obviously, you can hear them. They have different syllable patterns. But if you're not trained to listen to them, I start with Hebrew, I move into Sanskrit, and then I return back to Hebrew at the end. Can you make a song request? You can request it. I may not be able to perform it. It depends on if I know the lyrics or how easy the song is, but I do like singing very much, and I do like song requests, so you're very welcome to make a song request. I can't hear much of a difference, but you're not trained to hear it. Yes. Am I drinking mud? No, I'm drinking chaga tea. Any advice on quitting addictions? I need to make a video about that. I have my own fair share of addictions. And, do I have advice on quitting them? I think if you are publicly stating on a TikTok live feed that you desire to quit your addiction, then you are already more than halfway there. It really just takes intention. And the addictions that I have them because I do not actually intend to not have them. You have tons of addiction questions. What about toxic relationships? The best way to leave. I'm not actually that wise. I don't actually know the answers to these things. I have addictions myself that I struggle with daily. So I'll think about it. I will make a video about it, and then I'll let you know. But yes, I do believe that intention is everything. You set your intentions and you truly set the intention, which is challenging because often we are of two minds, right? I have intentions to quit just as I have intentions not to, and I have good reasons to do both. And that is why intentions are difficult, because we're not whole creatures, we're fractured beings. There are many in us. I'm vast, I contain multitudes. Is that a guy or a girl? Yes, it is. Also a garden fairy. Triambakam yajamahe Sugandim pushche vardhanam Orva Rukami bhavandanan Mrityar Mukshiyamamritato Triambakam yajamahe Sugandim pushche vardhanam Orva Rukami bhavandanan Mrityar Mukshiyamamritato Sarvesham Svastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. What's up?
Allergy center on the phone for you?
Allergy center on the phone for me?
Allergy something.
Oh gosh. Are they telling me that I have an appointment that I'm missing?
Do they have, can you tell me if they have an appointment that they're missing? Tomorrow at 9:30.
Tomorrow at 9:30.
Yeah, he's like filming right now. Bye. Sorry.
I don't think I want to go to that appointment.
Oh, okay. Then I could have said that, but
Yeah.
alright, bye.
Bye. Hey, this is real life. Where were we? Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Oh gosh, now I'm just all confused. I have to look at the lyrics. This is dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Sarvesham Svastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashantu Makashitu Kabhagbhave Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityur Mamritam Gamaya Om Purnamidam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachati Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishate Om Shanti 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 Om Peace Peace Peace. That outer world is full. This inner world is also full. From fullness comes fullness. Taking full from full, fullness remains. Darren, why won't I answer you? Because I don't know what you're asking me, Darren. And repeating in the chat, why won't you answer me? Why won't you answer me? Why won't you answer me? That behavior does not make me want to answer you. It makes me want to call you out as a troll and notify my moderators that if you ask that one more time, they ought to mute you. Like, honestly, I'm a human, right? Like, I'm a human. What do you expect? Like, you're not entitled to my attention simply because I'm a person in a screen. I don't understand. Anyhow. Why am I playing with my toes? Because they're very good toes. Look at these toes. Aren't they good? Very good toes. All right. What does the Jewish religion think about it? That's not a question. Think about what? Yahweh? They like Yahweh. Where's my necklace from? My aunt-in-law gave it to me when Ruth Bader Ginsburg died as a memorial. Mods, you can also mute people who are asking me repeatedly if I'm a boy. I don't mind being asked if I'm a boy or a girl because then I can say yes. But I'm not going to say yes to am I a boy, so no thanks. Good morning, River. What am I drinking? I'm drinking chaga tea. What is my dream job? This right here is my dream job. I love sharing this time with all of you and getting paid to do it. It's really special. This is an Ouroboros. It's a snake that eats its tail. I really liked that tip. The little birds flying everywhere. That one was very good. Very good tip. Thank you so much. Thank you so very, very much. I like my hair too. I'm glad you appreciate it, Queen. All right. So, now we come to a prayer in English. This is an American folk song by Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros. I'm sure many of you are already familiar with it. And did I paint those branches? I did paint them. It's not paint, it's Sharpie. I drew them. But yes, this is art that I made. And it's the Tree of Life. Or actually, it's a giant mushroom. It's a giant mushroom. Gosh, I love this so much. Thank you all for being here. What are my pronouns? These are my pronouns. Because everyone always asks, so I made a chart. This is what everyone thinks my pronouns are. My pronouns, according to TikTok, in these ratios. They're all mine. They're all my pronouns. People have used them on me. Therefore, they're mine. Okay. It's the mushroom of life. It looks so vascular, indeed. Ramifications. So, the next prayer is about prayer. And as this show has gone on, as this live stream has been going on, I have become deeply curious about what you all think. What motivates you all? What brings you all here? And, what is prayer, right? Like, we're praying together right now. I wake up every morning and I pray with my community every morning. And oh my God, am I lucky to do that? But how can you let that go? How can you let go stress? Breathe. Breathe. Feel your body. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Then inhale. And exhale. Motivation to be here. Deeper connection with the earth. Understanding the bounty available. Yes. Do I pray to God? Well, no. Why don't you listen? And as I'm singing this, you can sing along with me if you know the words. And if you like, let me know what it means to you. What prayer means to you. And it's not necessarily prayer to God, but I love hearing your responses. What does prayer mean? Why do you pray? What is prayer? And why do you do it? What does it look like to you? To me, it looks like this. I don't want to pray to my maker. I just want to be feeling free. Not just who I am, but the pink in golden land and that wide, wild sky over me. Help me to the sun. Hey, I'm looking everywhere. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer. And I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray. We don't want to pray. Pray. And it's not much good to talk, better to walk it. Ooh, not much good to take, better to give. We are done, forgiven, and forgotten of our sins. And I promise you, my friends, all that dies will live again. So, pardon, God and Mom, what I'm saying isn't fair. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer. And I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray. We don't want to pray. pray. I love Allah. Allah made love, and Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. And Yahweh, Yahweh made love, and Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. Asher, Asher, Ah made good, and Anat made bad. I love Allah. God made, God made, God made. But I don't want to pray to my Maker. I just want to be what I see. Not like in a book, or the leaves of trees that shook from a word that means only not a thing. No, no. Pardon, God and Mom, what I'm saying isn't fair. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer. And I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray. We don't want to pray. Pray. I love Allah, Allah made love. And Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. Asher, Asher, I made good, and Anat made bad. Eloheinu made love, and Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. I love Allah. God made, God made, God made me. Except that's all a lie. You know that, right? None of those gods exist. I made me. Or you all are making me right now. We are making each other. You're helping me make this image. We are making this community together. Thank you all for letting me know how and why you pray. That song is by Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros. And I think it's very beautiful. Thanks for joining the Discord server, Kai. I appreciate that. There was another question that I wanted to answer, besides who that song was by. Have I read Siddhartha? I don't know what version of Siddhartha you're referring to. I probably haven't read the version that you are. But there is a very interesting story about Siddhartha that I would like to share with you all, given that you've asked the question. Similar to how when Moses was born, there was a prophecy that a firstborn Israelite son would depose the Pharaoh of some sort. There was a similar prophecy around a similar period of time on the Indian subcontinent that the firstborn son of one of the many kings of India would renounce his kingship to become the Buddha, because the suffering in the world was too great to do otherwise. And so his father, Siddhartha's father, built a pleasure palace for him, right? A palace with high walls, very well lit, with many beautiful things inside, flowers, fruits, and at the first sign of wilting, at the first sign of decay, the flowers and fruits were removed from the palace, so that Siddhartha would never know that death or suffering existed in the world. And there were no old people in the palace. There were never any sick people in the palace. He lived in lockdown, in full quarantine, hidden from all signs of death and suffering and decay. But Siddhartha was a rebellious child, a rebellious teenager, and one day he decided it would be a good idea to climb over the palace walls. And then he found himself in a bustling Indian city. It was smelly. It was dirty. And as he walked along the streets, he saw a sick man, a leper, missing limbs. And he was horrified. And he saw an old man, hunched over on a cane, clearly in much pain throughout his entire body. And once again, Siddhartha was horrified. And then as he kept walking, he saw a corpse on the side of the road. Because that happened in ancient times. There were corpses. And he was traumatized. And then, sitting underneath a tree, Siddhartha saw a sage, and he said, "Aha, I know what I need to do with my life. I need to pursue enlightenment, and I need to embrace death, and embrace suffering, and understand that disease and death and suffering imbue our lives, and they make it what it is." And then, of course, he becomes the Buddha. Right, so this is a There's corpses today, yes. So this is a myth, right? This is a fairy tale, right? It's a fable. And the moral of the fable is, hey, it is not actually possible to segregate yourself from death and suffering. It is not possible to segregate yourself from disease or from sources of injustice. These things are part of the world. Don't try to hide them. And yet, 2,500 years later, we build huge buildings, well lit, full of fluorescent lights, full of fruits and flowers, wrapped in plastic. And at the first sign of decay, those fruits and flowers are taken out back and tossed in the dumpster. Even if they're perfectly good, just because they remind us a little bit of our own mortality. I don't know. Like, I've been dumpster diving for 10 years now, more. And every time I do it, I'm reminded of the cycles of death and rebirth that make the world what it is. And I'm reminded also that so many people in my society don't want to see that. Even when there was a myth from 2,500 years ago reminding them, hey, look at this. Even then, we recreate these pleasure palaces in our modern times. You actually think it was my dumpster diving that made me find you? Well, yes, that video did much better than any other video I've ever made, right? Most of you found me through my dumpster diving content. That's why I talk about it. But my dumpster diving content isn't actually about dumpsters. It's about life and death, right? It's about living authentically in the world and not being afraid of our own end. Good morning, Kira. What do I teach? I teach mycology. I'm not sure what that comment meant. Quotes, yeah, I'm a girl, but I don't change my voice. I did change my voice. Would you prefer I talk like this? I don't really want to talk like this. I don't like this voice, so I don't use it very often. Am I a boy or a girl? Yes, I am. I am. Thank you for all the roses, everyone. I really appreciate that. Yes, this voice is just as natural to me as my deep voice. I have a full range, and I'm very proud of my full range. I'm extremely proud of it. So, I think it's time to wrap up. The next prayer that we're going to recite, the next mantra, is called Arati. And the word Arati in Sanskrit means flame. Here is the flame. The Arati flame. And the refrain for this prayer, Jaya Jaya Arati. We wave the light because it reminds us where we came from. Matter and light are interchangeable, after all. What are my thoughts on the afterlife? I need to make a video about this. I will. I don't actually have time to make a video about it today, but I absolutely will, because people ask me that question all the time, and it's very important. I think we are living in the afterlife right now, is the short version. I think that life goes on. I think that life is 3.8 billion years old and will continue for at least another 3 billion years. And even when we die, we are part of that grand tree of life which has persisted for longer than we have and will persist for much longer than we will. That's what I think about the afterlife in a sentence. Jaya Jaya Ratiya Vina Vinayaka Vina Vinayaka Shri Ganesha Jaya Jaya Ratiya Subramanya Subramanya Kartikeya Jaya Jaya Ratiya Venugopala Venugopala Venuola Papa Vidura Navanita Chora Jaya Jaya Rati Venkanta Ramana Venkanta Ramana Bhavani Sankara Sita Rama Radhe Shama Jaya Jaya Rati Gauri Manohara Gauri Manohara Bhavani Sankara Samba Sadashiva Uma Maheshwara Jaya Jaya Rati Raja Rajeshwari Raja Rajeshwari Tripura Sundari, Mahalakshmi and Mahasaraswati, Mahakali and Mahashakti, Anjaya Jayarati Anjaneya, Anjaneya Hanumanta, Jaya Jayarati Dattatreya, Dattatreya Trimutaya Vatara, Jaya Jayarati Adityaya, Adityaya Bhaskaraya, Jaya Jayarati Sanistaraya, Sanistaraya Bhaskaraya, Jaya Jayarati Sankarachaya, Sankarachaya Advaita Gurave, Jaya Jayarati Sadgurunata, Sadgurunata Shivananda, Jaya Jayarati Vishnu Devananda, Vishnu Devananda, Vishnu Devananda, Jaya Jayarati Agastya Munaye, Agastya Munaye, Shri Ama Priyaye, Jaya Jayarati Ayappa Swamine, Ayappa Swamine, Dharma Shastave, Jaya Jayarati Jesus Grave, Moses Grave, Buddha Grave, Jaya Jayarati Muhammad Grave, Guru Nanak Grave, Samastya Grubho Namaha, Jaya Jayarati Venugopala. Natatra Suyobati Natandrakaratam Nema Vidyobati Kutoya Magni Twameva Bantamin Bandi Sarvam Dasya Basya Semidam Vibandi Om Gange Kayamune Kaiva Govari Saraswati Narmade Siddhikaveri Namastitam Namo Namaha. Neither the sun shines there, nor the moon, stars, and lightning. So from where does its light come? That shines, everything shines after. By its light, everything else is lit. Om, Om, Om. Light is all, and all things come from light. This is what we have learned throughout our studies of the universe. All things come from light. Tvameva Mata, Chapita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandusha Saka Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya, Travinam Tvameva, Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Kayena vacha manasendriyarva buddhyatmanava prakrite sabhavad karomi adyad mangalam parasmahi narayana iti sarmarpayami sarvadharmam pravichaya mimikam savarnam vraja aham sva sarvapapaya mokshayami masucha. Whatever actions I perform with my body, speech, mind, senses, my nature, my intellect, or my emotions, all these I dedicate to you, to all of you. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I appreciate it so deeply. Taking screenshots for all the hurtful comments. If you're a minor, you're going to get told by your mama. Thank you, baby love. That's great. Did you know that my mod team is spectacular? They're really spectacular. And they're not just spectacular because they're fighting hateful people. They're spectacular because they're setting positive intentions for all of the rest of you. And I see the rest of you acting in such good faith and so well-meaning, talking to one another, answering each other's questions. It warms my heart. like it's just so good. It's just so good. So, now we're going to say Kaddish. Kaddish for all those people who died yesterday of coronavirus, and for all those other sources of death and suffering that have plagued the living since our lineage began and will continue to plague us until we are done, however many thousands or millions of billions of generations from now that may be. And for the last 2,500 years, my ancestors have been saying the following words in response to death. Yid Gadal Vid Gadash Shemi Rabba Biama Divrachir Te Viam Lichmal Hude Bachayachon Nuvyamechon Vchayedekal Be Israel Bagala Vismat Curry Fingru. Amen. Yehe Sheme Rabba Miva Archli Alam Ome Omaya. Yid Brach Vishtabach Vit Baar Vit Erman Vit Nase. Vita Dar Vita Le Vita Lal Sheme de Kudisha Brechu. Leila Min Kolbir Chata Vishirata. Tushbir Chata Venechimata. Diamiran Biama Vimru. Amen. Yehe Sheme Rabba Miva Archli Alam Ome Omaya. Yid Brach Vishtabach Vit Baar Vit Erman Vit Nase. Vita Dar, Vita Le, Vita La Sheme de Kudisha Berechu, Leila Min Kolbir Chata Vishirata, Tushbir Chata Venechimata, Diamiran Biama Vimru, Amen. Yehe Shlama Rabba Min, Shemaya Vichaim Aleinu Viachol Yisrael Vimru, Amen. Ose Shalom Bimrma, Huya Ase Shalom, Aleinu Viachol Yisrael Vimru, Amen. Ose Shalom Bimrma, Huya Ase Shalom Aleinu. V'alechol Yisrael, v'imru, v'imru, Amen. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you here tomorrow to say these words once more. Now it is time for breakfast, so I will turn off